행사가 끝나면 강정을 간다고 해요. 그래서 혹시 나중에 궁금하신 거 있으시면 그때 물어보시면 될 것 같고, 이 친구랑 저랑 인연이 된 거는 같이 영국에서 예술인협회 활동을 같이 하고 있거든요. 그래서 이 친구가 이번에 올 때 공짜로 저희한테 무료 봉사를 해주는 거기 때문에 많은 박수 부탁드리고, 그리고 옆에 동시통역을 해줄 분은 박세영 학생인데 이분한테도 많은 응원 부탁드릴게요.
안녕하세요. Hello. Sorry, my Korean is not great. Basically, I just want to say first of all that this video that I'm going to show, I will pause it every now and again because the translation it's not a documentary. It's just a selection of clips that I've put together about Jeju from 2 different trips. So I need to pause it because of the time that it takes to translate as well. No offense.
오늘 영상 준비하셨는데 아마 번역 같은 거 문제 때문에 계속 멈췄다가 정지했다 재생했다 하실 것 같다고 하십니다.
Yeah, I think Min introduced me already, but I'm an artist, filmmaker, videographer, and I specialise in various projects relating to Korea, South Korea and North Korea actually. I do want to thank Min, Ji and Jihyun for their hospitality so far and making it feel like a real family this Korean Finland week. And I hope to go to Finland someday, maybe with them. So thank you very much.
안녕하세요. 저는 제이슨 버니이고 저는 화가, 그리고 비디오 제작가, 그리고 동시에 영상 제작가, 그리고 특히 한국에 좀 더 특화되어 있는 작가이고요. 또 특히 민, 그리고 지현, 그리고 지은 씨에게 감사드리고 싶다고 합니다. 여기 있는 동안에 좀 더 가족이 된 것 같은 기분을 느끼게 해주셔서 너무 감사하다고 말씀드리고 싶다고 하시네요.
As you all know, Jeju is very different to mainland Korea. It's kind of a haven and a spiritual place for many Koreans. It's very rare that a week goes by in England when I'm sort of seeing my friends' activities on Facebook, and nearly every week there is someone going to Jeju, whether it's a honeymoon or just to get away from the Seoul or get away from Busan. It feels like it's very different from the islands we have in the UK. We don't have this kind of island that's connected to our land like this.
제주는 우리 육지랑 좀 사뭇 다른 점이 많은데 특히 가장 느꼈던 점은 좀 뭔가 육지 사람들한테 좀 더 영적이고 좀 더 천국 같은 곳인 것으로 느껴지는 것 같다고 합니다. 그리고 좀 다른 지역에 있는 부산이나 서울에 있는 사람들도 제주에 굳이 와가지고 뭐 숨 쉬듯이 와서 즐기기도 하고, 이런 점은 약간 영국에 있는 다른 섬들과는 사뭇 다른 점과 있는 것 같다고 느껴집니다.
And again, as many of you know, maybe not all of you, maybe those from Finland or elsewhere, Jeju was recently named one of the 7 wonders of the natural world. So I think at least 9 of the sites in Jeju have been labelled as a significant place for under the banner of UNESCO. Sorry, I get my words out there. Yeah.
최근에 제주는 7가지의 Wonder of the Nature, 7가지 자연경관 중 하나로 선택되었고, 그리고 또 박물관의 종류도 여러 가지 있는데 부적절한 그런 것도 좀 있었지만 일단 9가지 중에서 하나로 명명되었다고 합니다.
So this is my 6th trip to Korea now, and actually my 3rd trip to Jeju. My first time in Jeju was in 2012, and parts of that will be here. I visited it only 8 months ago as well, and so.
그래서 이번에가 6번째 한국에 방문한 것인데 그 중에서도 3번째로 제주도에 방문하게 되었고요. 그리고 고작 8개월 전에 저번에 방문하게 되었다고 합니다.
Okay, and almost lastly, as I said before, this is not a documentary, it's just a selection of clips. Some of the clips are less than good quality, they're either clips that are going to be used for a future project, or they're ones that have been taken out altogether.
여기 보이시는 것처럼 이거는 다큐멘터리라기보다는 그냥 클립들의 모음으로 보시면 될 것 같은데 아마 조금 더 보고 좀 제이슨 씨의 좀 작품을 더 보고 싶으시다면 나중에 더 추후 보여드릴 수 있을 거라고 하십니다.
Okay, so on towards the video. My first trip to South Korea took me to Jeju, as I mentioned. But as I only had 2 or 3 days that I could really visit the island, I wanted to experience as much as possible, take in as much as possible. So that's what I tried to do. So I'll just start the video.
일단 지금 제이슨 씨한테 할당된 시간이 이틀에서 3일 정도밖에 되지 않아서 이제 여기서 좀 더 자기가 가능한 한 많이 경험하고 싶어서 일단 가능한 한 많이 경험하려고 하신다고 하십니다.
So as you can see, this is the journey from Busan to South Korea. Sorry, Busan to Jeju. I'm sorry.
보이시는 것처럼 부산에서 제주로 오시는 공항이고요.
I'm sure many of you have seen the Jeju airport enough times.
많이 보셨을 거라 생각됩니다.
But one thing that I was kind of fascinated with, even in 2012, was the technology. Even on Jeju in South Korea, it was coming from London. It was something that opened my eyes. So having something in the car like that.
또 방문하셨을 때 또 놀라셨던 점이 차 안에서 일단 차량 기술에서 일단 심지어 2012년에 이런 차량 기술과 심지어 제주에서 이런 기술을 가지고 있었다는 점에 일단 굉장히 놀라셨다고 합니다.
And you may have just seen, I've just rewound it as a little bit, there is a guy, a statue called Harobang, I'm saying that right? And to get used to him in Jeju, or in this video, because he's the representative of Korea, he's kind of the symbol of Korea, I would say. So, yes, sorry, symbol of Jeju, sorry.
여기 돌 하르방이라는 이제 석상 같은 게 있는데 이게 약간 제주의 상징 같은 존재인데 계속 이 영상에서 아마 보이게 되실 것입니다.
Okay, I was staying in a hotel, excuse me, a hotel in Hamdok area. It wasn't kind of the area that I thought it would be. The beach, I guess it was the season, the beach was a different kind of beach to what I imagined. It's more sort of pebbly, the tide was in. So I'll just play a bit of that.
일단 호텔 함덕에 있는 숙소에 도착했는데 참 기대했던 해변과는 좀 달라서 놀라셨다고 합니다.
So this is Hamdok, which I'm sure many of you know. So the following day, I had a tour guide, a driver, and he took me to the Harobang sort of park.
가이드분께서 하르방 뮤지엄에 데려가셨다고 합니다. 다음날.
This park also features loads of other statues, wooden ones. I'm not sure of the relevance, but they were everywhere.
하르방뿐만 아니라 뭐 목재로 만들어진 석상도 있었고 뭐 등등 많은 조각상들이 있었다고 하십니다.
Okay, and then that same day it was on to another tourist place, which was, got to say this right, Songsang Ilchabong, also known as Sunrise Peak. And this, I will play this quite a bit of footage of this.
다음 달엔 성산일출봉에 가셨습니다.
Now, I know one or two people in here have been up this place. And it's quite a long walk. It's not too strenuous, but it's got a lot of green there. Even on the way up, looking down, you see a lot of greenery. But it's not just about what's at the very top. It's also about what you can see below.
성산일출봉 갔더니 일단 많은 녹지들이 펼쳐져 있었고 그렇게 막 높진 않았지만 일단 그 위에서 보는 경관들이 아름다우셨다고 하십니다.
And so that's why I showed a few clips of the same bit of sort of harbour area there. So this is the main feature, the crater. I always call it a crater, volcanic crater, I guess.
여기가 이제 메인 주요한 화산 크레이터 부분이었습니다.
Oh, sorry. And then it was on to Hanyo Museum, which, if any of you know, well, I'm sure most of you know, this is the diving women of Korea. Sorry, of Jeju.
여기 해녀 박물관이라고 하는 이제 많은 분들이 아실 그 잠수하는 여성분들이라는 해녀를 전시하는 박물관입니다.
These diving women are very sort of quite elderly women, but they're very famous throughout Korea, throughout the world, and this museum is basically dedicated to them.
기본적으로 이 박물관은 이제 그 해녀분들을 위해 만들어진 박물관입니다.
This museum had quite a lot of things in it, apart from the obvious, the Henyo women, but also it had a bit about the history of the worshipping gods, goddesses. Sorry about this. As I say, some of this is not great quality. It had some of these, I think these are some of the fishing rituals, but if I'm wrong, someone can correct me later.
여기 박물관에 방문했더니 일단 좀 박물관에 방문했더니 보이는 약간 명백하게 보이는 것보다는 좀 더 영적이고 좀 숭배하는 그런 쪽에 그들을 숭배하는 쪽의 박물관이었고 아까 보이셨던 약간 물고기 잡는 듯한 행위가 보였는데 혹시 그게 물고기 잡는 게 아니라면 나중에 Q&A 시간에 한번 말씀해 주셨으면 감사하겠다고 합니다.
Is that right? Okay. 감사합니다. And it also had quite a bit of information about Jeju or Korean foods. This isn't real food, these are model foods. There's quite a lot of kind of fake food around, which is not great when you're hungry.
갔더니 일단 음식에 대해서도 좀 나타나 있었는데 일단 당연히 페이크여서 그렇게 배고프지 않다면 먹으시면 안 된다고 합니다.
See there it mentions about a goddess worshipped Yongdeong Haomang.
신화에 대한 것으로 영할멈 신화가 있다고 하셨습니다.
Okay, so that took me to the following day, where the driver, or tour guide, whatever you want to call him, he took us to the Jeju folk village. I believe this is it here.
가이드분이 이제 민속촌으로 데려가셨다고 합니다.
There's the Hurabang again. It's quite an epic place, the village, because it's got a lot of history, a lot of tradition, of course. It's also got the Sorry, I just wanted to show you. This is my tour guide, just showing me what to do. If, you know how you do that. It also has a big Korean TV drama section because Korean drama is very popular in the East or in Asia and also in other countries as well. But it has some information about location and sort of the clothing, the hanbok, which is kind of the dress, the men or women dress, which you'll see some in a second, I think. Yep.
미소총에 오셨더니 일단 아까 그 누워 계셨던 분은 제이슨 씨의 투어 가이드신 분인데 그냥 어떻게 해야 되는지 보여주신다고 그냥 잠깐 누워 계셨던 거고 여기가 이제 민속촌인데 여기 영화나 TV 시리즈를 위해서도 촬영장으로 많이 사용된다고 하십니다.
And as it says there, as I just mentioned, the drama location, you can go and see where famous dramas have been filmed in Jeju or in this area.
아까 이 장소에서 이제 드라마 세트장이 있어서 촬영된 장소를 직접 가보실 수도 있다고 합니다.
There's a little ride you can go on as well, which this obviously is. I wasn't walking like this. And there was quite a few tourists there, not just Korean tourists. There was also one or two Westerners. There's the tour guide again doing his bit of demonstrating.
가이드분들이 한국에서 오신 분들뿐만 아니라 이제 서양 쪽에서 오신 분들도 꼭 계셨고 아까 맷돌 돌리시던 분은 또 이제 가이드분께서 어떻게 하시는지 시범 보여주시는 거라고 합니다.
So there's one of the tourists that basically was there as well.
아까 말한 다른 나라에서 오신 투어리스트를 말씀하셨습니다.
There's my driver tour guide again. I just wish I remembered his name, but anyway. This isn't Jeju food. Of course, this is tteokbokki, which is Korean, South Korean food. And unless someone can tell me whether it's a Jeju style, I don't know. But talking of food, that takes me on to other food that bearing in mind this was 5 years ago, and I was still documenting nearly everything Korean. So spam, which is kind of a delicacy with some Koreans. They give it as gifts and things. This, I believe, is fish cake. Yeah. And I think we've got one more thing, which I think there's one more thing. I think it's oranges and. So there's a long shot. It doesn't need to be that long.
지금 보이시는 거 어묵인데 오렌지인 것 같다고 하십니다.
Yeah, that's okay. Sorry. And this is oranges or clementines or satsumas. I'm not sure what you call them in Korea. Again, the footage isn't great. This was just stuff I just shot when I saw it, so I wasn't really prepared.
이제 지나가다가 오렌지 농장 같은 거 봤는데 이게 어떤 과일인지 확실하게 모르시겠다고 하십니다.
That was quicker than I thought. Okay, then there's my driver again. But we next went to somewhere where I'm very passionate about. For any Koreans might know that from my T-shirt, this regarding Gangjong in the south of Jeju.
지금 입고 계신 티셔츠는 강정이라는 곳에서 들고 오신 티셔츠인데 이제 그에 대해 설명하실 수가 있나요?
I know there's mixed feelings about this, but it's basically a navy base that's being built or has been built pretty much in Jeju, in Gangjong village, which is near Seogwipo. And this was back in 2012, so it wasn't quite finished. And these activists, protesters, and basically villagers, they were very, they're very passionate. They don't want to lose their village to what is essentially an army base, which could then lead to other things. It could lead to worse things in that area. There'll be a lot. There's already soldiers there now, but the activists are still kind of doing their thing now in 2017. They're not going to stop.
강정마을은 이제 강정마을 이제 해군 기지 건설이 계속 되고 있었고 아직도 되고 있는 그런 마을 중에 하나인데 아직 2012년부터 해서 아직도 2017년인 2016년인 이 촬영 당시에도 아직 프로게스팅 계속 항쟁 이제 데모가 있었다고 합니다.
Yeah, so as I say, it's a Navy base that's being set up by the US with some chaebol, or some corporations, let's say, and the Korean government as well. So it's very, it doesn't get publicity, this, as much as it should. I know filmmakers like Oliver Stone, they went there a couple of years ago to document the situation.
지금 이 사건은 좀 이 사건이 인정받아야 만한 그런 관심을 받지 못하고 있는 상황이라고 합니다.
Okay. So these rocks here, which are quite near Gangjong, just up the road, I believe. I can't quite remember. It was 5 years ago. But they're similar to the rocks that have been destroyed by the Navy base, Gorombi rocks, which are quite sort of spiritual and healing rocks. But these are ones that still remain elsewhere.
여기 이제 바위로 만들어진 곳인데 이제 쿠롬비라고 해서 해군 기지에 의해서 좀 파괴되었다고 합니다. 5년 전에 그렇게 됐다고 합니다.
Okay, it was time to leave Jeju in 2012. This isn't the end, this is just the end of 2012.
2012년에 끝을 맺게 되었습니다.
In London, there was something I wanted to include in this because it's relating to Gangjong, the Navy base that's near Seal Repo that I just mentioned. This French guy had been in Jeju protesting, and he was in London basically doing a conference at SOAS University. I think he had actually protested quite a lot, and he got in trouble and he got deported.
이제 런던 이야기를 넣은 것은 이제 강정 마을과 관련해서 런던 쪽에 이제 관련된 사람이 있어서 꼭 넣으셨다고 하는데 지금 여기 계신 분이 이제 서울대학교 쪽에서 계시다가 투쟁? 네?
SOAS.
서워스라는 죄송합니다. 서울대학교가 아니고 서워스라는 대학교에서 이제 관련 항쟁을 하시다가 이제 한번 경찰에 붙잡히 시도하고 뭐 그렇다고 하십니다.
Yeah, just to explain, SOAS stands for School of Oriental and Asian Studies, so that's why you wouldn't know the word SOAS, because it's kind of an abbreviation. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, did I say? No, it's Oriental and African Studies. Oh, did I say Asian? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so now back to October, 8 months ago. What's that say? Did we... So yeah, 8 months ago I was back in Gangjong. This time I was looking at the village itself, because last time I literally had a 10-minute flying visit.
강정마을로 돌아오셨다고 합니다.
And I walked to the other entrance of the Navy base, which I hadn't been to before. Last time I had literally 10 minutes to stop in the car and go and speak to people. This time I wanted to come and see the actual protesting, the human chains, the marching. And they're also very passionate about the Sewol incident, which I'm sure some of you are aware of.
저번에는 이제 10분 정도밖에 시간이 없으셔서 좀 제대로 둘러보시지 못했었는데 이번에는 좀 더 길게 보셔가지고 또 다른 것도 보고 이번에 또 세월호 관련하셔도 또 보셨다고 합니다.
So this is Mass. So this is like a church service where they are, every day 11 o'clock I believe, they are, well, doing what you do in church basically, and obviously praying.
이제 매일 11시에 이제 그들이 함께 모여서 항상 이렇게 아마 기도를 하는 것으로 보입니다.
And I wanted to go back to the area I'd been to before, which was the kind of corner, the bridge and the corner, not the main entrance. This was the bit I'd been to 5 years earlier, 4 years earlier, I think. So I wanted to revisit that because it was quite memorable for me. And I wanted to see if the same people were around.
이제 다시 강정마을로 돌아왔는데 이제 4, 5년 전에 방문했었던 곳이지만 자신한테 좀 더 이제 기념비적, 약간 기억에 남는 장소여서 꼭 오고 싶었다고 하십니다.
Okay, so this is them doing their, well, it leads on to them doing a human chain, dancing and protesting. They're kind of allowed, that's also Sewol, the ribbon there. They're protesting, they're kind of allowed to do it so far away from the actual Navy base. Apologies if there's quite a bit of politics in this, but I've tried to mix it up with politics and culture.
여기 보이시는 것처럼 여기 춤도 추시면서 이제 항쟁도 같이 하시는데 아까 차 뒤에 보이는 스티커에서 이제 세월호나 이제 약간 정치적으로 갈 수 있는 그런 문제들이 보이는데 일단 정치적인 거랑 문화적인 거랑 같이 섞어서 같이 만드셨다고 합니다.
Yeah, I just want to touch on that, but because of Sewol, which is there was a ferry that capsized and 250 youngsters, students, and 300 adults in total, well 300 people in total, passed away. The ship that was actually on the way to Jeju, so there's actually a connection with the people in Gangjong feel very passionate about that and very, hurt by that as well.
세월호가 이제 약 300명 이상의 아이들이 죽었고 사실 그 배가 제주로 오고 있는 배였기 때문에 강정 마을 사람들도 똑같이 그에 대해 많이 분노를 느끼셨다고 합니다.
Okay, so that was just me just being taken back to go and do a bit of sightseeing. So finished with the protesting.
강정 마을에서 돌아오시면서 이제 항쟁은 그만두시고 이제 관광을 좀 하셨다고 합니다.
For now. I decided to take a walk. Someone suggested I could actually walk to, is it Yakchunza temple? Does anyone know? I think it's Yakchunza?
약춘자 절에 대해 아시는 분 있나요? 약천사라고 하십니다.
So I took a walk along just to see what I could see of the Navy base, just from a distance, and then I followed these ribbons. If you follow these ribbons, you get to this temple. But it's a long walk. It's a long walk.
돌아오시는 길에 이제 저 리본을 따라서 걸으시면 좀 비록 긴 길이겠지만 약천사까지 도달하실 수 있다고 합니다.
So I wanted to join the activists stupidly at 5 a.m. on the following morning. So I walked to the same place. They do 100 bows as a kind of blessing, I suppose, and a kind of good blessings. So that's me there. That's my feet. So basically, I did 100 bows with the others.
아침 새벽 5시에 이제 제이슨 씨 일어나가지고 이제 백보 하시는 곳에 참여하셨다고 합니다. 근데 이제 이 기도하시는 거가 아마 좋은 기도가 아닐까 하고 추측하시고 계십니다. 초록색 위에 계시는 게 제이슨 씨라고 합니다.
Okay, I'm not going to show you the whole 100 bows. That would be a bit boring.
이제 백보 하시는 거 전체는 보여주시지 않으려고 합니다. 너무 지루하실 거라고 하십니다.
So, as well as the human chain that I mentioned before, and the marching, they do a little sort of circular march at the entrance of the Navy base. This is back at the mass area, I believe. Yeah, I just wanted to show you this as well. This is somebody protesting against THAAD, which you probably know about, some of you maybe. It's the missile defense system.
가다가 이제 사드 반대하는 이제 동상을 보셨다고 합니다.
I think there's about 50 bases in South Korea, and there's a lot throughout the world. Fukushima, they're putting a similar Navy base, and there's some ribbons there for, I believe they're for Seoul. They might just be for blessing or good luck sort of thing.
이제 리본이 나무에 걸려 있는 걸 보셨는데 이제 이게 아마 그들의 영혼과 좀 종을 빌기 위해서 걸어놓지 않았을까 하고 추측하고 계십니다.
And there's some of the housing for the Navy people.
해군들을 위한 이제 집들이 여기 있었습니다.
So this is similar to what you've seen before, except we've got a child kind of joining in, not quite.
어린이가 투쟁에 같이 함께 참여하고 있는 모습을 볼 수 있었습니다.
Now I wanted to include quite a lot of footage, so you kind of got the feel for this. I was actually standing and taking part and dancing and what have you, just to show my respect. So this is a bit similar to what you saw earlier.
Yeah, well, even if I did do it, it's like compensation.
Oh, that's me talking.
It's kind of, and then there'll be brothels and there'll be stuff like that. You know what I mean? Once you have Navy, you have.
As I said, they kind of walk around in a circular motion here.
이쪽에서도 또 참여하시는 모습 볼 수 있었다고 합니다.
And they're okay as long as they don't step out of line, as long as they don't do anything stupid. And a bit more, just the last bit of protesting, I guess. This is some of the residents of Gangjong village. They take to the sea and they actually go as far as they can to the outer of the Navy base itself. So they start just up the road.
데모에 약간 마지막으로 보셨던 게 이제 강정마을 사람들이 이제 강정마을을 배를 타고 나가는 모습을 그렇게 보셨다고 합니다.
Sometimes there's more than just two, but on this particular day there was two. They actually asked me if I wanted to go out to sea as well, but I didn't want to be that brave.
보통 한 2명보다는 많이 참여하신다고 하는데, 근데 이날 이제 제이슨 씨에게도 참여하실 거냐고 물어보셨지만 이제 자기는 그렇게 용감하지 않다고 판단되셔서 같이 참여하진 않으셨다고 합니다.
Okay, and this is in Gangjong village. There is a peace cafe which is dedicated to all such Navy issues throughout the world, especially, as I said, Fukushima and Gangjong and the ones in South Korea, elsewhere in South Korea. I took a brief visit to Seogwipo city because I hadn't been there before. So that's a little bit, I guess it's not really a tourist place, but this place is here. This is a bridge and an island where there's many Chinese tourists and other tourists there.
잠깐 휴식 취하시려고 이제 주변 둘러보셨는데 이제 중국인 관광객들이 굉장히 많이 오시는 곳이라고 합니다.
So on this second visit, I couldn't leave Jeju without going up it's South Korea's highest mountain, Mount Halla, or Hallasan, or Halla, yeah, some people say either one. I went up there.
두 번째 날에 대한민국에서 가장 높은 산으로 올라가셨는데 정말.
That's obviously me slurping on some noodles. I made some friends with these guys halfway up.
노란색 티셔츠 입은 라면 드시고 계신 분이 이제 제이슨 씨라고 하는데 옆에 계신 분과 친구가 되셨다고 합니다.
Sorry, that was actually the penultimate day, just before the last day. This was the very last day. I wanted to go to the 4-3 museum, which is, there was an uprising back in the just around the Second World War. There was a uprising with many people in Jeju lost their lives, got killed by soldiers, similar to the Gwangju uprising, but different politics this time than before that.
이제 마지막 날 이제 사전 박물관에 방문하셨는데 이제 2차 세계대전 근처 2차 세계대전쯤에 이제 많은 제주 사람들이 목숨을 잃었었고 그때 박물관을 방문하셨다고 합니다.
And finally, I just wanted to include this. It's just some actual footage, kind of. It's not by me, but there's an artist in London who had a Henyo sort of exhibition, which had images, artwork of these diving women.
이거 제이슨 씨가 찍은 건 아니고 런던에 계신 분이 찍으신 해녀에 대한 영상이라고 합니다.
I've still never witnessed them myself, actually. Now that's it, really. I think I've just put on the end. Oh, this was just a trailer I did for a TV thing, but it's. I just left it on the end. Yeah, sorry if that was a bit convoluted, but I was just working with, stopping and starting the video. Also, I put this together quite quickly, and it probably shows. If anyone wants to ask any questions, I'll do my best to answer.
질의응답 받으시겠다고 하십니다.
If it's possible. Dion?
네.
Yeah.
제이슨은 왜 한국이 좋은지, 특히 제주도가 왜 좋은지 궁금해요.
Okay, I get asked a lot about why I like Korea. And the reason Korea initially was through the movies. I got a bit bored of some of the Hollywood films about 6-7 years ago. I started watching Japanese films, French films, Korean films, and then through the films, I got interested in the culture. I thought this country, Japan gets a lot of coverage, a lot of interest out of tourism and films and food, especially food, sushi, etc. I don't know if you joined us now. Oh, she can pronounce.
이제 왜 한국 좋아하셨냐고 물어보시니까 진짜 일단 먼저 할리우드 영화 같은 거에 약간 6-7년 전쯤부터 약간 좀 별로 매력을 못 느끼시다가 한국 영화를 통해서 좀 더 이제 한국에 대해 매력을 느끼게 되었고 그렇게 이제 좀 찾아보시다가 이제 일본에 비해서 이제 일본의 영화보다는 자기는 이제 좀 더 문화적인 거나 그런 쪽이 더 흥미를 끌었다고 합니다.
So that was half the question, I guess. That leading from that, I saw from South Korean films, not only were they structured differently to a lot of Hollywood films, they seem to mix their genre in one film. They might have comedy, sadness, death, fighting, all in one film sometimes. And it's not so in your face. Like if it's a comedy, it's not this, you must laugh. There are films like that, but there's a lot of films that are kind of up and down. And maybe that's because of Korea's history, but I might be completely wrong there.
제대로 해석됐을 것 같진 않은데 일단 영화에서 한국 영화에서 느꼈던 점이 일단 코미디나 다른 것에 뭐 많은 섞인 것도 많았었고 죽음이나 많은 것들이 같이 섞여 있어서 더 좋았다고 하십니다. 막장 드라마 말씀하십니다.
And from the films, of course, you see the food, you see the culture, you think to yourself, I want to see this place. It's always interesting to see places that haven't been as well documented. And someone actually approached me and said, why don't I, as well as loving the films, why don't I make a film about Korea? And I was already thinking of doing something like that. Then Jeju was just a part of that, really. Jeju, I know it's a haven for Korean, but it's also a haven for me. When I go out of Seoul and out of Busan, it's a nice place. It's got a lot of, it's just so different from the rest of Korea.
문화적인 것에 대해서 관심 갖게 되면서 당연히 왜 이쪽을 방문해보는 게 낫지 않을까 하고 좀 그렇게 관심 갖게 되어졌고, 또 이제 제주는 그 과정 중에 하나였는데, 이제 한국인들한테 제주가 천국인 것처럼 자신에게도 이제 제주가 천국인 것처럼 이렇게 천국으로 생각이 되었다고 하십니다.
Any other questions?
질문 더 없으시냐고 여쭤보십니다.
제스레포가 되게 재밌는데요. 앞으로 긴 세월 한 2-30년 앞으로 긴 계획도 있겠는데 2-3년 내의 계획이 무엇인가요?
She asked,
Well, at the moment, I kind of promised to myself to, if you just mean about Korea, visiting Korea, or you mean film projects? Yeah. Well, the thing is, I started doing this big documentary, but it was about the different things in Korean culture, like the food, the music, and I mean traditional music, and even indie music, and fashion, art. Art plays a big part for me, and obviously the films. But doing that, I've kind of fallen into other projects as well. So I've just, I get filming stuff in London that's related to Korea. I've just worked on something with somebody, American Korean, regarding baby boxes and Korean unwed mothers. There's a Korean unwed mothers family association in Seoul. And so it was interviews, but I got involved with that. I didn't actually interview the people, I was editing it with a friend. So all these projects, I guess can you do it up? Yeah. So I did, Karen, okay. But the thing is, what's been happening over the last 5 years as well is not only the positives about Korea. I've started to, to discover the hurt and the pain and the recent pain, like the Sewol thing. So of course for example, I take part in a monthly protest with that in London, just a 2-hour protest. But all these things I've found out a bit about. The documentary was not meant to be about any sadness. It was just meant to be the highlights of Korea, the highlighting it. So there's certain things like comfort women, and I've kind of got involved with that. So 2 or 3 years, I don't know. I mean, hopefully my big Korea documentary finished, but I keep getting involved with other things which pushes it back. So, but I'm, I guess I should give myself a deadline to finish it. I mean, I'm going to keep on coming to Korea once a year, and I like to get involved with projects when I come here as well. Once before I was helping with a documentary in Busan while I was at the film festival, so I was helping with a friend of mine. She's a filmmaker as well, so we were collaborating, and she did something back with that. Does that help? So it's a bit vague, but I mean, yeah. I just keep learning, Even the Jeju 4-3 museum, I hadn't been there all this time, and I felt so stupid for not knowing about the full history. So, and last year I went to Gwangju for the first time, and it's taken me 5 trips to get there, because I've been going to Jeju and Busan, and, and I feel like there's a lot of, I don't know, You know, I've got a lot of Korean friends as well, so I feel like I get connected to the pain as well, maybe, or the han, or whatever you want to call it. Anything else? Yep. Thank you.